Friday, you can be to one class. Program coordinator for the South Central Zone. This is Tamica Bernard, and she brings welcome and open remarks. Let's welcome her.
Today's empowerment session is like a winner. What you all think that means? Anybody? Live like a winner. What do you all think that means? So I need just what is math. Live like a winner. Wait. Never speaking out for him this morning. So he said to be successful and do and many future. How are you doing that? Right? Chasing a goal, what are you? Make it at least what kind of decision? What are you? Coming up, I say. Well, then what you make it out? Otherwise, you need a session today. What are you? Focus on the trees. What that? Will be a solver. Very good.
Yeah.
Like when you doing everything that we can do. So was it gonna queen or do shopping if you like that is about what to function and if you are fashion you follow shop that to say that I mean fashion we have job on my side of the all the people to say and as the people around you can get you this one and you don't want to wish and always think about personal lives. And what you try to be open-minded, be interactive, ask questions, and just have fun.
Right, so we have some young man that answer that question to yourself. Where's the young man again? Are the young lady? To come forward. And you have something. You have to think you be master number how you have to take one to a time. So, now, before you are ready to quit, go for universities. I gave the incentive and look for saying, we will find it listen to what is being shared with you all today. So, at the end of it, in between, I look at questions and answers. So, this young man and this young lady answer and have an opportunity to think about. So, you want to go ahead, go side, put your in box, and whatever you get. Whatever that. Little sister was born and I didn't have to go to work. Oh, right, because of my days. Right, there's something. Let's hear it again, man. Okay. Right, so the next experience in this program is one fun out there sharing information. Right? On the team. I ain't talking. Right. Live life and learn. Right? So one of my first knows that this program is beneficial to you all in your daily lives and certainly in the future. So you wanted to be excited, you wanted to be learning, fun, encouraging. So to start off with this program, we have a friend of Servol, Mr. Odel, and he's coming to open up the program with a mind. So let's welcome him. Let's give a Servol welcome to Mr. Odel.
I used to be so broken, lost, empty. A heart with no beat, a sinner with no song to sing. So I know the feeling, the silence is deafening. But in your pain, like a blessing, sweet and sour victory. So keep walking, 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 though it seems so far. No matter who you are, see there's one thing that I know. Nothing can leave you so bitter, 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 bitter. You must believe that it gets better, better, better. It's alright, shut your eyes and the prayers to the sky. I know it's hard to rise, but you must believe that it gets better. Listen to me. I know you're scared, your heart's bleeding. But what are you gonna do now? I think it's time to break free. And keep walking, 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 though it seems so far. No, it doesn't really matter who you are. See, there's one thing that I know.
Buenas tardes for the project once again that's the no, to need this being something not just an English, but aspire big decision to really bring some sort of change to life and our faces different situations. I mean, each one of you already young, but I know that you don't have life. Your life I have situation that I said may be fun with us with, so I need to get some medicine of the illness in the sun. So the oil to that matter, South Farm, we get another time. Yeah. Okay, thank you again.
Well, hear me clearly? So I have one vocal cord operating. I had surgery. So I hope the one that I remain with can allow me to speak properly to you. For you all to actually hear me clearly, right? Okay, I'll try to pitch a little further to you. Anyone not hear me, please indicate. I was going to say, I have something scripted here, right? And I was going to do that. And I still wonder if I could fit it in, no matter how long you have. So I will start off by saying, I hope this is not part of the script, but I so wish that I could be where you are. Sometimes I just wish I could press a reset button with the direction of life took, and some of the things that I survived. But in the midst of all that, in the midst of regrets and feeling overwhelmed at times, I have to remember purpose. So I heard the young lady and I heard some of the comments. And while I could have added winning the lottery to part of being or living like a winner, I want to say to you all, don't make your time here wasted. This is not just another adult telling all you the same thing. This is someone who made some choices as a young person sitting in a school in the uniform, being a little popular at school, and straying from studies and from what I thought was my purpose then. But I didn't know what God had planned for me. I never got purpose and everything. But I had to go through so much pain to get to my purpose. And if some of you could choose, because life is about choices, so if some of you could choose to go on the path that is for the better, then do it. Do like Nike and just do it. Instead of having to sit down and regret. You don't want your life to have to be that you have to do what the song say. You have to go to the builder to get better. It don't have to be that way. You could be you could start off living in poverty. You could still be in poverty as a young adult, but you could find ways. Your past and your living situation does not have to define who you are. But you probably hear this kind of talk over and over and over here, and mommy to say it, daddy to say it, auntie to say it, the teachers to say it, but trust me, until you live in a situation where you think you're going to die, or where you think you're going to not come out of, that's the only time when you get to sit down and say to yourself, I wish I could do it over. But you don't have to reach there. So, having said that, I will read from my book first. My book came out, I didn't introduce myself properly, sorry. So my name is Valdeen Shears, I live Point 14. Big up to Point 14. Big up to everybody, but the Point 14 is my hometown.
And I'm a mom of 7 and a grandmom of 2. Yes, 7. All from my marriage of 21 years. And my marriage started off with all the feelings that the young people feel when they like somebody. You want to put your surname next to your name. And all that giddy feeling that will come. It started off like that. And then I had a roller coaster ride for 21 years. So, but I lived like a winner, even when I was in my chaos. And that's sometimes, I think, key to self-motivation. It's telling yourself that one day I will be out of this, and it's holding on to your source of strength, whatever it is, and it's also giving itself goals. Because I was suicidal at age 11. But I said to myself, I wanted to sit common entrance and pass for not very long years, and then I would do it. So every time I felt depressed growing up, I said I would do it after I accomplished something good. So I would leave those who treated me bad to regret it more. Because they could have listened or they could have asked if something was wrong. Or those who knew that something was wrong could have changed my situation. Even when I was a young adult, when I was married, I had suicidal thoughts. But again, I self-motivated to think I had to be able to accomplish certain things for my children first. And I'm saying that I'm talking about that because we could all end up depressed. All of what you're saying is not part of what I'm trying to say. But I move according to what God needs me to say. So to those in the audience who may be feeling depressed, or feeling like you have not achieved what you want to, or feeling discouraged, or feeling like you let anybody down, motivate yourself. Because you see this? You see your mind? Your mind is one of the most powerful tools you have in your body. Think about it. Because I'm sure you're all going to see movies where they say, if you're on a machine, if you get into a dread accident, something happened to you and you're on a machine, once your mind still showing activity, they cannot pull the plug. So that's to tell you how powerful your mind is. Your mind is the only place that nobody can rob you of your thoughts. It's the one place that you're most powerful. Because your mind will tell your body what to do. Because when you are brain dead is the only time you're really dead. Your heart could be beating still, you know. You hooked up to all the machines keeping you alive. But if the doctors say there's no brain activity and your brain dead, the family has to make the decision to pull the plug. So you're here and you're looking nice and you're looking well put together. The girls will they might be taking however long in the mirror this morning. I used to get mad and pull up my hair when the thing going in the style going to and thing. And in them days the gel was DM80. It used to have like a helmet. Or they have let me see my daughter, my second to last daughter is 15. And I started to go pennies and buy smoking, red one, eco, extreme, all kind of gel shoulders straight out. And the son who is 17, my last son, he's either Durag or them wave brush thing, a piece of sponge thing that we can make it right. And sometimes he just takes my gel. And all in such a place, all it have such piece of luxury. We don't even know. I wish I could be back in my uniform and I could look down now and see myself maybe at least 19 or younger, because I made some stupid decisions before 19. And I could say to myself, don't do that. I would have saved myself a little time, take and breathe. But I will not be here right now in this moment to talk to you. So I just feel like whenever I do a presentation, I just feel like God giving my next chance to, if not do over my story, to help inspire somebody to make the right decisions to not lead them to have to live what I survived. Okay? Or pick it up, go and jump in now. I hope so. So, I am now, I'm a survivor advocate mentor. I'm one of the country's first trained survivor advocate mentor. What that means is that when I was about to come out of my 21-year marriage, abusive marriage, I decided, actually before I came out, while I was still in it, I decided to try to get back my voice. And I did that by blogging on a site, speaking out to 190 countries, unknown to my abuser and my ex-husband, of the things that were needed to keep victims and survivors safe in Trinidad. And I unknowingly started advocacy. I was just crying out. I didn't know that it would cause a ripple. And after coming out on it, I decided to make people listen. I decided to make the people that count listen, not just the victims and survivors who needed to hear that they have a voice and they should speak out, but also to the persons who had legislative change in the power of their hand, because that's what we needed. And I started speaking out, and I was a reporter. I was a senior reporter with Newsday, Guardian, and Express, and I lived like a winner, and I pretended well. And I could have won an Academy Award for the amount of pretend I pretended. Living like a winner, well, dressing well, and feeling, because you know when you think about it, when your name end up in our papers, right? In the first year I went as a reporter, I saved all my stories. I cut out the clippings that I was reading. As a reporter. My byline in the paper, so yeah. That's how I was feeling. Because I was from Point, this country girl, and growing up in town. When nobody really knew, half of my coworkers didn't know that I was surviving verbal abuse, physical abuse, even injury that I had to be hospitalized. They didn't know. So I continued to live like a winner in the midst of my chaos. And one of my most trying times, I'll read from my book. My book is called Free from Mental Bars, and it came out last year. And the reason for the title, initially when I got my title, and when I say got, I heard a voice telling me, I'm not schizophrenic, was it? That is just the voice that just talk to you when you're about to do something wrong. You know, like in the movies, you see the angel and the devil? Yeah. So one of them voices said to me, from behind mental bars. And this was in 2012. And I was still in my marriage up until 2016. So I had a few years before I could come out. So the name of my book initially was From Behind Mental Bars, because I was still there. I was still in my mental prison. And then just before I was about to come out, that voice said, nah, free from mental bars. So the title changed because my situation changed. So I want to read a small excerpt from a book so y'all could see where bad things can happen to you that could lead to good things. And in the midst of it all, to always keep your head up. So this is chapter 7. It's subtitled Cell Block of Caroni. But the flower is pronounced Caroni. And Deliverance. Now I will read. I have some of my chapters do start with scriptures. If it be so, our God whom we serve is able to deliver us from the burning fiery furnace, and he will deliver us out of thine hand, O King. Daniel 3:17. Someone recently informed me that the enemy comes at those he realizes most love the Lord. I asked her and God why. They both said, your purpose is great. Funny, I didn't think it was great when I knelt on a fetid piece of sponge, 6.5 months pregnant and in a jail cell next to my son. I didn't think I amounted to much when I felt like I was at the lowest I could ever be. Come on, people, I was in a jail cell. Jail. I considered myself a law-abiding citizen outside of enabling my ex-husband in his less than law-abiding ways. Oh, by the way, my ex-husband was in a gang and I lived in Seahawks for 12 years with him. I couldn't see past the fact that I had earned my consequences, sure as if I had committed an assortment of his crimes. It was December 23rd, 2016, and I would spend early Christmas morning being photographed and fingerprinted before being station bailed by my eldest daughter and my son-in-law. My eldest son, whose only crime was accepting a job to tile my home, was also arrested because of his father. We spent over 48 hours in a station jail cell, separated by a grimy concrete wall covered in what looked like feces. Oh God, how did I get here? Help me out of this, Lord. I can't do this one alone. How do I orchestrate myself out of this one, Lord? Please, please help me, my son. Help my son and I cried out. My prayers were partially answered by a kind-hearted female officer who expressed outraged disbelief that her colleagues had placed a big-belly woman on the floor of her cell. She advised that I demand to be taken to the hospital. I refused. I was not about to leave my son behind. We were innocent. Well, we were kind of. I lived partially a life of what he was involved in. So I wasn't totally innocent. I was just innocent in that moment. The officers were not allowed to accept my ex-husband's plea that the 100 worth of marijuana was his. They had in fact come to our home to find him as a person of interest in another unrelated crime. We had been, I believe, casualties of their war against crime. I forgave them long ago for doing their job. My ex-husband eventually was allowed to plead guilty, and the charges were discharged against my son and I. I thanked God then as much as I thanked him for delivering me from that jail cell, but I had no clue that my total deliverance was going to come about only through more pain. Then on Boxing Day, my whole world collapsed. But that is a topic which I cannot speak of, as it's a matter in court. Suffice it to say, the subsequent happenings led to my ex-husband being forced by the law to relinquish all marital and parental rights over a period of 3 years. That was the lowest point of my life. My feeling of abject failure, of failing myself, my purpose, and my children. I remember hearing a pastor preach on the topic of getting people to God. The words that stuck were, tell them, bring them, and compel them. Then he said, according to that particular scripture, had been those living on the highways and the byways, maybe even the migrants and the displaced. My ex-husband was needed, but he was lost. He had admitted as much to one of our close friends. When this unspoken crisis took root, it tested me like no other, and the Holy Spirit tested me also. It was placed in my heart to forgive my husband. Not just this latest sin, but all the years of abuse in all its forms and fashions. I also had to forgive myself, my blindness and my inabilities, my limitations and my weaknesses. Needless to say, my children were not free from abuse. They were affected by all that was happening in our marriage and family. Thank God for really being here for us, for he has made my children as strong, if not stronger than their parents. My son broke down once. Probably your age. And he told me how he truly felt about our constant arguing and fighting. He said he wished he was dead. He wished that he had been born to other parents, and a whole lot of other harsh truths that I understood to be the cry from the heart even when my husband could not. It hurts me to hear it. Sometimes I take my purpose as a true blessing, as I know I was meant to touch lives, to tell others that all things are possible through the Lord, no matter how mean it may look. To let people know that they deserve happiness and freedom, that they have the right to escape and to safety. So I stopped reading from my book, and nothing that I really came to say, because I do have something on the phone, right? And I will just read a little piece from what I'm scripting. On the theme today, live like a winner. You held it well, she said to me, and I had. I recall one close friend telling me this after I was finally out of my 21-year abusive marriage. I had known her for over 10 years. I'd been a reporter with at least 2 top newspapers in the country by then. I dressed the part of a well-put-together senior journalist, had the respect of my peers, held my head high, lived like a winner, but swallowed my pride, my anxieties and fears, so that others would never know my secrets. I was in fact a victim of domestic violence and abuse, who felt suicidal and homicidal almost weekly. I was also, however, a mother who had decided to stay and suck it up for my children. But even more so out of fear, so crippling, I was in essence crippled and paralyzed into submitting to years of abuse. And I'll tell you something, right? Just cut off this a little bit. Just to divert a little bit, I saw a video tape on YouTube. They were interviewing a millionaire, multi-millionaire billionaire, and they asked him, what is the one thing, that's one advice that you would give that could guarantee or maybe really affect being successful and also becoming a millionaire? And he said, the spouse you choose. And I say this to the young people in here who, I was there too, I born big. I was right in my own same age. All the feelings, all the things that going on in your head every day. And to top it off, what we are dealing with at home. Then schools and the environment of schools different now. And the peer pressure and although to be honest, I don't know if I ever believed in peer pressure. Being honest with all, I wouldn't lie. I don't really use the term peer pressure because I think that you have a mind of your own. And while you can be swayed or maybe even convinced, or somebody say, well, dear, you're too now, but you can't do that. And you might take chain off. I think we still have our own minds that we can think for ourselves. So we shouldn't and we ought not to blame things on peer pressure. And we know we were standing at a junction and we could have chosen left or right, the devil or the angel, and we chose the devil. Stop blaming the devil for things he didn't do. Or we're giving him too much glory. Even adults, we like to say the devil made me do it. So God, the devil is here. We had a choice. And sometimes you have to take responsibility for your choices. Because I could have blamed everything that I went through on my ex-husband. Everything. I could have said he was just abusive and he was wicked and this. And you know what when I speak to victims and survivors, now I say, listen, there is something called victim blaming. That's real. That's people who tend to think she didn't like him so much. She actually likes him, all those kind of negative terms. That stigma. Why you didn't leave all of those kind of questions? That's real. That's called victim blaming. Please don't do it. Because the mindset of a victim is not one that makes normal, good decisions. Especially if you're running on fear. But at the same time, we still all have to take responsibility to what we allow people to do us. Because bad treatment is what we allow it. Think about it. And abuse is not just between man and woman. It's not just in relationships. All you're writing here could either be being abused or abusing a friend. If you know you're either one out of the two, examine yourself and sit down and think. The golden rule in life is no one to others. It could stop wars. So if you know you're either being abused, get help, talk to somebody. And if you know you're abusing, stop. It might be hard to do because some of us live what we learn. So learned behavior is the environment we live at in our homes. Nobody knows what they're going through. Nobody. You could go and talk to the dean, the guidance counselor. The only person that knows how you feel, like how you really feel, is you. Even when you share it to someone. Because you might share a little bit of what you want them to hear. But we are really are burning inside of here. Sometimes it stays right here. You might have one close friend that you might tell it to. And here's the thing. Sometimes when you tell it to people, they can't help you. So what to do? What to do? Self-motivate. Every day. Every day. Self-motivate. Give yourself a goal. My goal, at one point in time, I didn't have that self-motivation. I like to tell them I went through plenty. I've survived injuries. I have scars, physical scars. I was once run over by a car by my ex-husband. So I have injuries that are both on the outside and on the inside. I had to heal through tears. And I had to be brave enough to stand up and say, I'm not living in fear anymore, and I don't care if I'm police. But it took a long time. And what it took is self-motivation. You have to get up on a morning and speak to yourself. I can tell all you to walk around and nobody has to ask me, you're going mad. I didn't say that. It could be in your head. Because again, nobody knows what's in your head, you know. I could be saying, I could be standing here and talking about it and I really thinking, well, I wish I was eating and I feel serious. I was on a beach and where I was in some cruise or something. I could be thinking, you all wouldn't know. You all could be the teacher of my children. Their body language and facial expression when I buff in them. Sometimes I could tell what people thinking by how the body responds and the facial expression. But often all the children, they say when you ask, how you feeling? Normal. And I say, normal. And that time you ain't normal, you know. So much going on in your life. Find somebody to talk to, please. Because depression is real. Really real. And let me tell you something, depression is a clinical reaction. People will see you and say, like, if you have everything well put together, right? They expect that rich people are not supposed to feel depressed because money is everything. That's not true. A rich person can have all the wealth in the world and no love. And not be sure of if the people around them, with them, or around them for the right reasons. So that's a whole next mind game. So, if you're sitting in this audience here now and you're feeling depressed, please talk to somebody. Because that clinical reaction that happens, just like sugar gives you a rush called dopamine, that clinical reaction that happens when you're depressed in your mind, that's what could put you on a ledge. That voice that you could hear telling you to self-harm, or that life ain't worth it, like the song, with the mind good, right? You have to be able to self-motivate enough to overcome it. It's very hard sometimes. I had convinced myself that I would never come out of my abusive marriage unless my ex-husband was dead. I didn't think I could even come out. I didn't think I had the right to say I want out. And it took him abusing our children for me to finally say enough. I can tell you, if it had not reached abuse to my children, I probably would still be married to him. That's how much I was afraid of him. Because the life he lived when we now started, he had access to firearms. So it was an environment where I knew that I could be hurt always. And I didn't want to end up with statistics. I was actually writing the stories of women who were killed by their estranged husbands. And I was writing those stories, and I asked to write or to cover anything with domestic violence without my editor even picking up why. Because I wanted to see what, I think it was kind of shock treatment. Every time I went and I wrote about a woman that was killed, then not to say that men are not abused. Please, please, please do not think that I bash men. Because I found love again. So don't think I bash men. I don't. And I am very aware that there are men who are abused, because verbal abuse is abuse. And we women, young ladies, our tongue is often our weapon. And we can, you know, somebody agreeing inside a young man like you agreeing. Our tongues are often our records, and we can use it to hurt more than a notch. So please be careful. And again, abuse is not just between spouse. It's between siblings. How you speak to your brother and your sister, how you answer your mother. Or do you think that's abuse? That's verbal abuse. If I working hard as your mother, making all kind of sacrifices to make sure you get your uniform and your red one for your hair. And if I buy the school pants for the boy, he tell me, Mommy, it's your big that leg is, and I have to go and find a seamstress to take it in a little bit. To still stick to the school rules, but to still make him feel like he never got a baggy pants. All that I do. And then when I call you, you will say, what? Oh gosh, yeah, Mommy. That's abusing me, you know. I see it as abuse. I see it as verbal abuse. I see it as ingratitude, no appreciation, and abuse. You're supposed to speak to people how you want to be spoken to. If you think like that, then you're done self-motivating. I'm not saying to take advantage. When I say take advantage, I mean to be taken advantage of. Let me speak proper English. Because I'm an English major. I'm talking about you not allowing people to treat you badly. I'm not saying to go up on your high horse and feel your Princess Margaret either. I'm saying to know your worth, value yourself, and do not allow anyone to treat you badly. And that goes in friendship too. And then sometimes there's a cut off and walk away. Somebody could be your best friend since it was going preschool and they started treating you bad. What are you going to do? Anybody from the, because I feel like I need to make up a little bit. Anybody from in the audience? Yes. If you have your best friend, your BFF, your bestie, I know kind of somebody tell because my daughters and right? So something with you, have you ever, if you're in that situation, especially if you're someone who was close to you, have you ever thought about asking them what's wrong? Because maybe there's something wrong. There's something that a sudden behavior like that first. And if you open that doorway for them to get help and they refuse it and they continue to abuse you in whatever form, then maybe you think about separating yourself from them. But at least ask a question first. Because when I was a victim, I felt alone. And I didn't think anybody asked me once, what did I do? So I'm asking you all now to ask yourself, to start self-motivating as of today, and to ask yourself, maybe you have to do it in the mirror, nobody have to know when you come in here, ask yourself, what do I want? And start building, lay a foundation from there to self-motivate and to reach your goals. so that I can actually live like a way concept. Thank you.
Silence. We have Miss Tamica Bernard and Miss Nadica Sylvester. They are going to present to you on this topic, so give them your undivided attention. Let's welcome them.
Okay, good morning, everyone. My name is Miss Sylvester. I'm the counselor at Coalition Against Domestic Violence, and Miss Bernard and she's a social worker. We work together. You made the going. So the first slide says, right, relationship goals or not, right? I want you guys to tell me if this is a goal or this is not a goal. So, my girl ain't allowed to turn up without me unless she wanna go up miss it. Like that goal, so those who say that goal, what they have. If it's a relationship goal, if that's something, so for the girl, if that's something you want your man to tell you, for the boys, if that's for you, let's think about the girls. So, this is, my girl ain't allowed to turn up to have sex at party. She can't go nowhere without you. And if she go anywhere without you, she wants to. She can't have it. She have questions to answer. So, if I talk about it, that's how you're taking in a relationship, how we have a see. Alright, so the section here, so everybody else say this letter go. No, it's not good. So your man is going to go wherever they want to, and it's not what they want to see. Next one here. So in terms of this couple, right? See, you come home, the husband says, well, come home, I'm hiding in the house with a loose gun. Here's the other one. The loser cooking dinner tonight. May the earth forever be with you. I thought boy like how go. I go? Yes. Next one. Next one. Alright, so this one says, your girlfriend's favorite line when they're mad is to not touch me, but then he still proceeds to touch her. So you know sometimes girls might be like, do we touch him before, boy? But then it's still kind of, he's not himself. So it's not good, but I do not go. Boy, if the girlfriend tell you, hey, I'm very don't touch me, where you going?
I don't see a movie. I don't.
My phone and I was already here. If you don't touch me, you touch me anyway. The fact that they don't touch me, so it's not even done. She's like, sound same that it's like a bull. Alright. That's what I said. For the concept, you are all mine, I'm not sharing. I go. Okay. So you now must see that everybody. Next one. The concept, when he tells you about something, he cares about you, listen, and express interest because they love him. I'm not ready that. Everybody straight up the relationship. And in that one, next one. When they doesn't respond within 2 minutes, they'll be like, yeah, like, well, they never care about me. So that's like, no, be like, yeah. So how long we have one
And send the message back. They will take I before you get upset. 1 minute. So wait, 2 minutes, 1 minute to reply. My boy. On the live, right? And the go message and that 2 or 3 minutes back and it's still a message and like, oh, like, alright, that talks so cool. I have been talking to nobody else. So I probably like in a deep conversation with my mother. Something strange happened. So I look at the phone like you and I'm like, every time. So you tell me that they might message my single on a night from certain other thing. So I know, right? So I know right now you're telling me that they find to message me. I'm stuck conflict, stuck with my clients. I'm like, yo, sorry sir, but my man. I'm messaging back on site. Okay. If you post I move no problem. So most of us agree that they have to mess with but certain like certain period before they get angry. I just want to be good. So let's come on. I think to ministers are sure like somebody say they got a minute that they done with this and I'm not very we're gonna talk about this. Not every know you're here and you're not sleeping. We're gonna have to alright. So, like this time about this talking about domestic violence. I did that before, right? That's what I'm speaking about domestic violence. So, what is domestic violence? It was a matter of when it comes to get over this. Let's hear what she has. Are you sitting on soon? Great answer, everybody else. What do you say? One person over there, I know.
I feel you're wondering.
Oh my God, you coming here? So get out of here. I'll get out of the So if you know about that, Odel, no, what happened? Yeah, so what behavior you think would be a domestic violence behavior? More than I just, stand out. It's that beating on his father regularly. That's why, We said getting beef up, but for no reason. Anybody have a different answer besides get beef or something? And you're the action take that will constitute to what is domestic violence. Let's not get to say yeah, the man person, we agree or we don't agree. Yeah, the man person is abuse. This can be mental abuse.
Okay, so let's give you guys a turn. It's next time. So, domestic violence includes the acts of physical abuse, sexual abuse, emotional and psychological abuse, verbal abuse, financial abuse, spiritual abuse, cyber abuse, threats, and stalking. So you have a long list on what constitutes domestic violence, right? So who can be a victim of domestic violence? Girlfriends, boyfriends, spouses, or even ex as well. Your parents or your guardians, your step parents, foster parents, children, and parents, grandparents, if I live together. And people living within the household. So you understand what is domestic violence? The show, you know what acts make domestic violence? You sure? Alright. Well, it's called into acts, right? So I think I call it PFP of So she would bring us out and she would let us know what type of domestic violence based on the list. Okay, so we're on this side and tell us what type of abuse you think this might be. Alright, you listen? And you're including the finance. Alright. So that's really good. Habits, spiritual beliefs, force on you. All in the finance. What do you think? What type of these things they can through? Spiritual abuse, excellent. Unwanted sex. What type of abuse? I wouldn't know that you have to do my sex dinner. You must not go to sex. Okay. What type of abuse? I'm going to the young man. When is that? Alright, let's have my phone list. Isolation being kept away from other people. So you can't go by parents, you can't go by your friends. What type of abuse is that? You understand? Excellent. Emotional, psychological, excellent. Grab one more.
We're told support peers or attention from child. We're told support peers or attention from child.
We're calling love, support, and grace from a child. What type of abuse is that? There's a keyword in it. It is a type of emotional abuse, but the word child is like, what type of abuse is it? And the hint is not only words. The hint is it is not only words. I abuse, sorry, I abuse it. Right. So there are also types of domestic violence, right? So before we went through the different forms of domestic violence, which is the physical, the verbal, emotional, and so forth. So there are types. So there's intimate partner violence, which is violence that happens between couples. So once you have intimate relationship, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, however it is, and you abuse the person, that is called intimate partner violence. Next, we have gender-based violence, which is violence that is done based on a specific gender. So, say for instance, some people might say females are weaker than males, so then the males can advantage them and stuff like that, right? So that's what we might consider gender-based violence. It can happen in the relationship, but it can also happen in the household. In some households, girls are treated worse than boys. In some households, boys are treated worse than girls. That would also be gender-based violence. The next one is child abuse, which is any abuse that is inflicted upon a child. So the same verbal, physical neglect. Once it's happening to the child, it is called child abuse. We also have elder abuse. How many people here close to their grandparents, right? And sometimes people don't treat the grandparents well. Sometimes you take the pension, like still on like to get the shop with a asking granny or asking grandpa. So we also have to treat our elders or grandparents well because we don't want to be accused of elder abuse. And the last one is intergenerational abuse, which is abuse basically between the siblings. So we call that intergenerational abuse. So these are the different types of domestic violence. So, is it love or is it control? You all have to tell us. So you're listening up and you're telling us if you think this is love or control. So you know your red flags, you know what is domestic violence, you know the acts that are considered domestic violence, you know the types of violence and abuse. So what you want to tell us, if this statements are love or control. I get jealous just because I love you. I'm a big feelings. I really love you. And you just do things and get me upset. So if you act like quite supposed to, I would get jealous. I want to say love, but I don't care. No. So we saying it's love. Alright, so we saying that it is love. So that's what we say. Say perfect. I get jealous because I love you. That's something like control. That's something cool. You take the high control. You take the high. So you say love. As I explain for me why it says love.
Yeah, because right now, but I get jealous. So if I jealous, it's because I know they're very hot. So yeah.
So we have a person who takes control and I tell you I personally kind of have for my isolation too, because like if you're jealous, right, you will tell me don't talk to me, I don't like it. But you help me, you'll talk to me and kind of keep rubbing and so I would say that I'm calling out for you show that isolation. So I don't have to say it. Because once I really a jealous, right? You're not sure. I don't know. Yeah, once I'm jealous, right? But you can't come up to me and tell me, but come to me, I don't like him. He's not your friend. I'm controlling me like, no, I really what I want. Alright, next, you should get one more. Okay, let's get one bridge. I find that love is let's now we get a point for here. I find when you like somebody, when you're doing certain things, it make you feel that type of way, and even if you don't have to stop what you're doing, you can actually be mindful of your feelings. Because no man, going and worship partner, going and work any and everybody. Before we started to go into as a love of control, we spoke about acts. You remember that? So the things that people do yourself, listen, people cursing at them certain acts. So to answer the question is a bit complicated. And I thank all of you who contributed. Is jealousy equal to abuse? No. Everybody gets jealous. Boys, acts that someone will do when and if they get jealous can be abusive. Does that make sense? So if I get jealous and then as one young lady said, you try to isolate me, that's abusive. But if I get jealous and if you go on, shall be jealous, stay with your friends all the time, we could do something together today, or you can talk to me every 4 today, that is not abusive. So the jealousy itself is not the issue. You're like age and you're like start thinking about what action you take when you have a certain thought or feeling. The action is what can be abusive. Does that make sense? Alright. And in that situation, you can ask yourself, is that love or insecurity? Because jealousy and insecurity is something that's kind of the mirror the same way, right? So the next one, right? If your partner says, oh gosh, the way that man you how does feel? Is that love or that is control? If this is not take care about the person, you will care how they live in public. And if you take a long feeling, then they won't let them live anyhow. So that is love. They care about how you live. So who have you say is for true? Anybody?
Just to be honest, I'm not sure because yeah, saying like a lot of your girlfriend and all that, and I have people that you know she had all up before she and they show to me it's not good.
So why don't we get here? Let's dialogue, right? You got it. If I got you in that short pass, and someone you want to be done, you go leave me, walk on you also, and I love that single arm. You can't go, you're looking so you're looking bad, so who know what I love. So, yeah, so the question, right? So that's it. So if you're not on the switch, right, that you see everybody floor, the outfit that you ran, that you find looking real good, right? Looking real good, you'll save your money and buy your outfit, you play so you tell him, I'm not going out, and you should watch me like, you go in there, you can't walk anything like that. My beautiful, you this song, I go see how this I young woman, so if you get your eyes. What you wasn't doing, sir? I not tell myself by myself. What okay, so I am. Again, we are thinking, we see the statement, we hear the statement, but we have to think. So it says, if your dress is not appropriate, and the person says they don't like it, is that love or is that control? We had different responses. Like the first response, we're making the questions like this on purpose, because we want you to think. Someone could say, I don't like that, and they may not be abusive. They just might not like it. They might like it. They might like me first. That's alright. But if somebody says to you, you know what, next to me wearing a dashboard. Every time they see you with something, you need to change your clothes. That is special. That can be a good sign. And for those who think, for those that go, you have to clothes when somebody else. I mean, if somebody's dressed in a particular way that you don't like fellas, what you can do? They'll find somebody who dresses how you like them to dress. Because for somebody to dress, finally they want boy who doesn't dress how you want them to dress. They can forward somebody to dress how you want to. Yes. This young man said he's not even because he's got an next man. You don't have to tell. Okay, so she cheap. They're not clothes or she. But nuts. Uh-huh. Alright, so here's the thing is that he would express himself and say, I don't really like it, but she has the control side and change it or not, but he will express himself and say, I'm not feeling off the trick. What more? That's what yes.
Oh, jeez. Now I get left here.
Okay, second and drink that one cold and there the highest shit. You can be shape and you better like them. You are not sure that can be fair. You're going to share your partner. Okay, so the next one, right? Some of them up to this one true. Why don't you need to have one of her and you have me? So, she said this one true because it was her close friend before she was in a relationship with you. So like you can't come and they say if on a break up now, then you are not pressed. So anybody say that it is love, who says love? I don't feel all that.
I was here some friends. Never mind say friends. Friends. I would tell it come up and such a but the way client wrote just a way. Like it's not bad. You can't switch the beaches. How are you job with them?
So he said that you can have friends, but it's how you're moving with your friends and them. You need to know how to move when it is, I guess, in a relationship. You can move a certain way with your friends. So he's saying that is it control? Are they trying to isolate you? What do you think happens? I think I want songs like country. I think I want songs like that. Alright, so the next one is I know what's best for you. That's love like country. Love? I know what's best for you, like it's not no country. Love? Country? What? I know what's best for you.
Miss like say how you feeling and you know best friend. It's control.
Your partner say, come to you like, yo, I know what's best for you. Go and listen to somebody else. Like, listen to me. I know you. I know what's best for you. If anybody say like love, anybody else who I say it, we go down to love. So you want to agree with control? What sorry you don't have? You know? So she's stating that you're supposed to be in control of your action. You're supposed to be in control of your own mind, but you're not really supposed to come and dictate how you move it, how you're going and stuff like that. That is up to you. So we agree, we don't agree. We agree. We have that we control. Okay. And the last one, I want to know if it's love or control. If you love me, you would, and you can finish the sentence. If you love me, you will do this for me. If you love me, you will do that to me.
Because the way you can't manipulate the man and set on because you usually find that I love you to get me to do what you want to do. I don't know what you fuck about what I do to life. So that's why I find that control. Because for some time I use love as an excuse to make somebody do what they want to do.
We agree. We agree. So, do you know what red flag and green flag are? Right. So, green flags are right, red flags are the warning flags, green flags are taken positive. So, remember it, red flag is sunlight, danger, green flag, sorry, safe, healthy, that means to go. So, we are going to talk about healthy versus unhealthy relationships, right? So, first, I want to ask. So, I have a little boyfriend, right? His name is Jason. Jason is good. He makes me feel real important. And Jason tells me that he loves spending time with me more than anything else. But lately, I haven't really been seen or talking with Jason like I used to, right? But this business, right? I get invited to a party, and Jason tells me I could go. But he doesn't come and talk to anybody, right? So, when he sees me talking to one of my male friends, he pushes the boy and then grabs me and walks away with me, right? But then after a couple of days, he called me and he told me that he's sorry for his behavior. And when I see him again, he gave me this real, long little heart shape. And then he feels how, sometimes he feel like he loses it. Right? And then he starts pressuring me to like spend all my time with him because he said that's how he cares about me. So, should I stay with Jason? Or should I say, I'm going to the author to say like a red flag. Alright. And all of the things are green flag. So what you gonna think about Jason? He gonna look good. He wear a little chin and stuff. Look at me, he love me. He just don't want to talk with those boys and saying that if he's gonna talk about that boy, that's what you boys like. So like good. That's healthy or healthy. The create a second they produce. So that's why it's healthy or healthy. Red flag.
So if it's embarrassment, I might pass it over to my friend, you come up and push my friend and then pull me and tell me to talk to you. So embarrassment thing. If I'm black and so this is the nice one, right? So tell me that I read. How was drink like, right? So my friend Ronald, this new friend named Chantal, right? She popular, she referred to me, I really fuck like that. But Chantal already like me, right? Chantal already like my friend, having made friends with me and stuff like that. And Chantal tell him something like, then, because he was lying and stuff like that, they got into an argument and Chantal threw the phone at my friend. Right? So, but she tell her like, that behavior is making a person in the relationship and stuff. And then Chantal come and say to make things work, she had a surprise for my friend, right? She buy him the iPhone 7. Right? So she never and she reminds him how your cousin is always stay connected, right? But Chantal will be password to my friend food. Right? And she said on tongue that sometimes she want to check the messages on page whenever she wants to. But this is phone, but that's all she wants to. Is that? So, Chantal. There's a husband. Show me how to keep Chantal. She could look at your money, she buy my food. You said, right. The only thing is that she want the passport for my phone and she just want to go through it. And she know where you're talking to me. Probably last night. So we do. Boys and girls with Chantal, see to be thank you. Yeah. Alright, so let's go trigger that class, right? If the person checks their own social media without permission, how permission red your land. I know you would give my son to permission. People can get angry on their own base, like handling their friends and their family, they have no time for them. Right, if you love me, you would. If this time is sentence like that, in the relationship, if you love me, you would. That is right. The jealous and always needs to know where you are. You gotta tell them everywhere you're going. Again, I'm the person something to if they pressure you into having sex, a drink, or things that they're not ready for. I never get real hard. Right? Sometimes they blame you for their behavior. So it's like, if it takes you to think you can't take the clothes and act like that when you're too. I red flag, green flag. Red flag. And if it is that they ignore your feelings. Right. Okay. So if they respect your privacy, they don't watch your phone, then already you can take it like that. Like what I want when you were tripping. If they accept no without tripping on, like if it is when they accept this way and you tell them, I know with that, they don't question you, they don't ask anything. Alright. And for the last one, they listen, they validate, and they check in with you. Right. So, everybody know it's one time. Sure. Okay, but say yes, right?
Yeah.
Alright. Okay, everybody know what this concept?
Yeah.
So it means permission to do something. So what a permission look like? So if they ask me to do something and I say, like permission? No, like not permission. I say, well, they can do it if they want, please. Like permission? Okay, young man, right. You can have a situation, something happened, and your parents try to find out, and if they ask, you tell the boy yes, and she'll be like, you know what, they say yes, I say if you want to. So, if you are a little bit emphasis, so right, so be careful. So emphasis the person saying yes, right? And then 5 minutes into it, they're like, now I'm more than what to do this again. What we like? At this time, you move it on. What we quit 5 minutes into the thing and the person saying, nah, I don't think I want to do that on the show. We don't stop it. So, I wait. Alright, so I go conversation start. I like that you're engaging. But you see this stuff right here? Very important. Very important. And especially for the young man in the room. This, if you don't take it seriously, it's 2025. If you can't use us from a good truck. Yeah. So when we're talking about concerns and which one, but a lot of things happen where people say, I delete status, I start that, even listen. So it's very important to take it serious, very serious thing concept. Okay. So just reminder, as the acronym said, consent is freely given. It is reversible. So 5 minutes I can say yes, next 5 minutes I can say no, next 5 minutes I can say yes. It's reversible. It took me to change my mind whenever, however, which I don't want to, right? It is informed, it is enthusiastic. It can't be like a yeah. You have a good yeah, we doing this thing. Yes, I want to do this. Not the best way to get consent and it's specific. Yes, I want to. Right? So boys, girls, make sure when it comes to consent, you guys get consent, okay? As you you be clear. And be clear when consent is given, okay?
So we if the slide is called the deep brother check, right? So those of you who in relationships, right now to ask yourself, do you feel anxious before you see your partner? Like you feel that I'm worried, you tell about exactly what you're saying. Oh, you get butterflies, it's happy to feel. They say that desires. Which way do you feel when you think about this significant other? You feel anxious, you feel worried, or you feel a happy feeling? So you have to listen to your body, okay? Do you change who you are to avoid conflict? So if it is how it is when you cook, but when you with your partner, you act different because you know he or she don't like it. So at home, you know, you know, but when you with your you like, so do you change up yourself when you with your partner, or are you true to who you felt? Right? Next one. Do you feel alone in the relationship? And it's like, I single, I feel see me whatever this person, it's not really go to friends and just like that. Or you know, you need a friend whenever that person in a relationship. You gotta ask yourself how you feel with the person. The next one. Am I ignoring your red flags because I'm afraid to be alone? So sometimes you have to see it as a barrier. Thing like it's tiny by the time we've been in the air. Everybody have a little man and whatever. Yeah, it's just me. So maybe I just put up with it. It's not that big of a deal. It's a little one to red flag. So are you guys doing that to the relationship, or are you genuinely truly happy to be with the person? Yeah. Right? So if your God said something is off, then you should listen to his body, okay? Yeah, it was what do you do off? We want to do somebody making it feel bad. Right. So it's okay to walk away, right? You know that, right? It's okay to get man be like this not for me. So if you're in an unhealthy relationship, talk to someone that you trust. If you really believe that you're faithful of the person that you're with, find somebody that you trust. Set your boundaries and stick to them. So you can't tell the person that I don't want to talk to you and then texting on their phone and then block them and then texting them back again. If they say that we're done, then we're done. Okay? Yeah. Right. You can't get help if it is that you believe that the person is abusive. There's ways for you to get help. And you can leave even if it's not that bad. You don't have to wait until it gets like you experience all the types of domestic violence and then decide you want to leave. Okay, so you can leave if you see one instance it happen, 2 instances, you can leave at that point. Don't wait until it gets bad. Also want to add, remember we have spoken about different types of abuse, we have spoken about child abuse, we have spoken about many different kinds. So even if you find yourself in an abusive situation and it's not with a partner, it might be with a parent, it might be a living situation, right? That's what these things still apply, some of them. In terms of trying to get help, in terms of figuring out how to have boundaries with this person, in terms of trying to figure out how can I get myself a new living situation or something like that. So it's not just a relationship between you and somebody else, like a boyfriend or girlfriend, but it could also include a relationship with a parent, a sibling, because of this happens there as well. Cool. And my friend in the back said that they shouldn't walk out the relationship, they should run. Right? So if you see any signs, run out the relationship. Yeah? Right. So if it says that you do need to run out of your relationships, there are places you can call, okay? There's the Trinidad and Tobago Gender-Based Violence Unit for the South Division, and that is if you want to make any reports against anybody who have experienced domestic violence. Then there's the Domestic Violence Hotline. Sometimes people need shelter. They are not safe within their home environment because of the abuse. And 800 SHAME provides shelter for those who experience domestic violence.
There's also the Coalition Against Domestic Violence, where Nadica and I work, and we provide counseling, case management services, and legal support. And there's also Childline for those individuals who need someone to talk to that is under the age of 18. Okay? And that is and that is the end of our presentation.
Okay. So we got two lovely t-shirts that we're going to give out, but you'll have to answer our questions, right? So whoever the fellas, you answer the question, you're going to get the t-shirt. So the first question is, who can tell me 4 types of domestic violence? 4 types. You went through all of this. You went through what it was. 4 types. I gotta do some time. What's one place you can contact us out if you want to get out of our abusive relationship? What's one place Okay, she said 800 safe. Good. 800 safe. The clean house together. Wow, yes. Alright, thank God. Thank you.
So on behalf of Servol, ma'am, I was able to sit in probably about half an hour of your session. I know you have started earlier. And I must say the response I saw from our trainees was excellent. I listened to what you all were speaking about, and it definitely will make an impact on the young minds that we have here. So on behalf of Servol, we want to present you with a token of appreciation for always being part of our empowerment. So thank you very much, and there you go.
What was the main gist of those experiences? Abuse. You know, so man, come. Young lady. Woman, young lady, you are the one, sir. Come. Come forward. One night I'm a poor man. Put something. Right. So our team this morning live like a winner, and of course, in living like a winner, right, we focus on abuse and domestic violence. Right? As you all know, and as was shared this morning, that is something that is very prevalent in our society. Right? Some of you may be experiencing it in terms of your relationship, right? At home, in your community, you name it, right? It happens. And it was just an opportunity to make you all aware, a little more aware of it. And maybe how it is or what it is we can do to put a stop to it. Right, so this evening's program is all about entertainment. Focusing still on our topic, but you get the opportunity to look for those who are here at Laramie. You all get the opportunity to look at some of our Laramie stars. Right? Laramie stars, they come out to shine. So, coming to entertain us with a spoken word, let us put our hands together and welcome the staff of the Junior Life Center program, Valdeen Shears, Tessa Thomas.
Many of you all didn't know me, but I have students who would have taught within the audience here. But I'm now going to tell my story. I'm going to tell you who I am. I have been a victim of life, a victim of love, a victim of circumstance. At 25 years old, I met a man who was supposed to be the love of my life. My parents sent me for classes. And every day as I walked down High Street, he used to see me and just smile and say good afternoon. A year later, he approached me, asked me for my phone number, and I gave it to him. For 6 months, he called my parents home, speaking to me, luring me, until finally, his phone, his gifts, his roses. I lived a life like a queen. He cherished me like nobody else did, not even my father. He asked me to get married. My parents gave us their blessings. When I had my first child, a little daughter, he looked at me with love in his eyes. And to me, that was the best thing I can hope for a woman, as a woman. He told me, babe, stay in the work. So I stay home. And I started to take care of my husband and my child, and I'm happy. What a woman can ask for again? When my daughter was 2 years old, it started. It started off with this. He questioned little things that I'm doing. The time I taken in the grocery, who are talking to on the phone, family members. I said, babes, try not to worry about, you're my king. I said, queen, we couldn't. Because why would I leave something like that? My cousin from England, who I hadn't spoken to in 10 years called. I in the bathroom, and he answered, and you hear a strange voice. As I come out to the bathroom, I get a jacket, and I shook. What's that for? He said you was mad all over the place. Me? I was mad. Blood dripping from my lips. A tooth came out. And I spit in blood. And I couldn't answer. And then for him, he telling the truth. Kick up the hip, lift up the legs. I get. When did I become a punching bag? When did I become less than a queen? That wasn't the end. That was just the beginning. I can go nowhere, not even to pay bills, not even to go to the grocery no more. My father got sick, my mother dead, and I did not go to that funeral. because he was working and he couldn't go, so I couldn't go. My brother, my sister, my best friend became the enemy. And I became no more. Small like a seed. Who am I? I was a victim. Then one day, my daughter turned 8 years old. And when I get the first kick, the first slap, she watched me bleeding with her eyes alone. And I knew it had to stop somewhere. I ran out of the house like a thief in the night. With not even a bit of chlorine in my hand. I haven't seen my children in 2 years. I know before I am good for them, I must be good for myself. Now, I am no longer a victim, but I am a survivor of lots, a survivor despite battle, and a survivor despite my circumstance.
Well, this is all.
Yeah, keep in mind. Now, like everybody else, life is got no less than a can go on. It's like there's our country. We are such a sample. The sheriff. Well,
We want to put on a little presentation for you all. Let's give you all a little insight on abuse and things that happen. Some of you may or may not relate, right? Some of you might be going through it right now. We want to put on a little demonstration, and I just want to invite my team now so you all can get a little view of all the members of this presentation. So, will you come down now? Come down now. Yeah, Miss Name. Let's get son. Mr. Costa. And Miss Valdeen. So Miss Valdeen will be my good friends here. Right, so I hope you all enjoy this little display. But first I want to run a video which gives a little depiction of what we are about to even add. So I hope you all enjoy it, right?
He manipulated me into thinking I was someone special. When I had nowhere to stay, he treated me like a princess. He took me to parties and showed me off to his friends. The parties had men, women, and young girls like me. That's when the exploitation.
Take the number one song. You want to show that's what I said. Bring yourself up a minute of the wax sweat. Yo, say it sweat. Oh my days.
Looks like you work the other day.
So, Karama, you out. It's 2 weeks now we are seeing you.
Right again? But now. If I tell you, if I can go, I'm more than fine. One big fight. Where the palang menu? Yeah. What? Tanya Nanya? Yeah. We see it. I knew anyone shining. She got it. It's like a shame. Now, I'm going to shower. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. My mother went through the same thing. And you see, sometimes someone then my boyfriend, he'll slap me up, he'll stroke me when he get real vexed and say, oh. But he doesn't mean it.
I love it.
Yeah.
You love it.
Well, remember, I never see my mother give my father and she get rebellious. I have to take that. So,
I love it.
I say nothing my feelings.
I do.
And you, your boyfriend don't love you, you do it.
The more links, the more love there is.
I should take that shit up. If you choke, you just find out.
More like small love. So you see coming out there. Anybody can identify with that?
Yeah.
In your house you might see happening. Right? But here what's going on? Who can identify that kind of abuse? It is physical, but when it's happening inside the house, they call it domestic violence. Very good. Alright? So, understand. The people back to the house should not see what happening. Okay, all in here. My boyfriend portrayed me for sex, you know. Give me joy. What do you so cool? You think girl? Nah.
Hey, you got Nigeria having sex a long time. You do something on it.
You don't do that thing. It's not.
Sure, who's studying that? You know your friend? I am a friend that do double bang. I think it's some pressure. Is that kind of information? I don't know. Come back.
It's really simple. Alright.
Oh, it's something.
So we had some abuse coming out there, yes or no?
Yeah.
Well, we can identify
Sexual abuse.
sexual abuse, right? Okay, so sexual abuse is quite common among some people, even at this age. So we are in the classroom. So you come in the classroom, you see how much male we have left a female,
Yeah.
and you feel like to share that girl.
No, like a shell.
Sometimes you go in the toilets. We understand. So then with sexual abuse, you have to understand that your body is your body, okay? Nobody have control over that. Alright? So let's go back to the classroom. Yes, babe.
Cheryl!
Yes, babe.
No, Cheryl. Huh? I just stay up for 5 minutes, Cheryl. You know I have your phone. You know I have your phone in the night to fall asleep and they're watching a movie. Huh? Netflix and chilling. Huh? Cheryl! I 5 minutes I just walk in here. Cheryl, you sending my one view. Hold on. Cheryl, you telling me?
What you talking about?
But I'm talking about scenes in front of face here. And it's spread out real wide. I ain't taking that. I ain't taking that. You say why you need no sex. No sex for me. When you standing my one view, no money. Shut up. Even if you come to this, you said no. No. No, they think that. Sure, no. I said for you, much man. I said we thought, you know, we done. We done.
No done with me.
We done with that.
We gonna be sex.
Nah, I didn't know sex again, girl. Again. They give it all them and them. One view. And I get it. Nothing. What you working on? I'm not for you up today. It's that one view still I see and then I take a screenshot. I don't send my distributed to the community. What I want to see the one view? One said it. 3, 2, 1, send it. Now he said for you, give up there.
Alright. So we understand when everybody continues. No one view, right? Ladies, no one view. Balance. If you tell to send one view now. Don't use it to send one view now. Balance to send one view. The best no one view. That will bring police, right? That will bring police. But it's not so.
But I know you feel so like English, like something for a year. What good? You don't look so. Really good. If I tell you what, man, I am embarrassing. I don't mind to go back home here. What are you saying? Yeah. So you don't think what happened? But where you get money? Your mother give me money to come to go back home. Yeah. And my father paid the court.
So if I stuff, I don't know why you can't drink here every day.
I think he said.
Woman,
I wanted to get a job, but he tell me, my mother I don't want to go, I don't go listen. But he ran with it. So you get money. I know that I desperate, I had to get some money.
watch man. You see that fella riding? You see that fella riding?
Yeah.
You ran slow. You ran slow. You have a real nice walk too. You have a S24. You want that one? You have a S24.
Yeah.
Watch man.
You got to.
You want some money?
Yes.
And then you nobody go worry yourself, bro. Seriously. If you keep that quote from that fella, I go and sell it for you. I'll give you half, and I go get half. How that's up?
So I just get it for you and you selling it.
I selling it for you, and I give you half, and I take it half.
I doing
But
that.
you want to take it, huh?
I doing that.
And it's good.
I doing that.
So when you back to it's that food. I sell it. How that's up? That's what my plan.
Yes.
Money I don't make. Oh, that's what my plan.
Yeah. So that was financial abuse. Let me tell you something. Not every day somebody like my gun, eh? Yeah. But sometimes I situation you know we parents will do better. That is financial abuse. Go thief now. Or not just go buy the civilian girl. I have money to go home. Go buy your coordinator and talk with them. Don't thief nobody phone. Don't thief nobody phone. Everybody does have it hard at some point in their life. But don't thief nobody phone. Because I will call for the police. There we go. Get you something on
You don't do that thing. It's not.
Cheryl, who studied that? You know your friend? I am your friend that do double bang.
I think some pressure. See that kind of information? I would not come back.
It's really simple. Alright, oh, there's something. So, we had some abuse coming out there, yes or no? Yeah. Well, we can identify
Sexual abuse.
sexual abuse, right? Okay, so sexual abuse is quite common among some people, even at this age. So we are in the classroom. So you come in the classroom, you see how much male we have left of female?
Yeah.
And you feel you have to share that girl?
No, my
Sometimes you go into the toilets. We understand. So then with sexual abuse, you have to understand that your body is your body. Okay? Nobody can have control over that. Alright? So let's go back to the classroom.
Yes, babe.
Cheryl!
Yes, babe.
No, Cheryl. Huh? I got stay up for 5 minutes, Cheryl. You know I have your phone. You know I have your phone in the night to fall asleep and they're watching a movie? Huh? Netflix and chilling? Huh? Cheryl! I 5 minutes, I just walk in here. Cheryl, you sending my one view? Hold on. Well, Cheryl, you telling me?
What you talking about?
I'm talking about scenes in front of face here. I have spread out real wide. I ain't taking that. I ain't taking that. No. You say why you need no sex. No sex for me. When standing my one view, no one else. Shut up. Shut up. See if they come to this and said no. No, they come to sure that. I said for you good. Watch it. I said we thought, you know, we done. We done.
No done with me.
We done with that.
We gonna be sex.
Nah, I didn't no sex again, girl. Again. They give it all them and them. One view. And I get it. Nothing. What are you working on? I'm gonna play you up today. You saw one view still man, I see it and I take a screenshot. I send my distributed to the community. What I want to see the one view? One said it. 3, 2, 1, send it. Now he said for you, give up there.
Alright. So we understand when it continues. No one view, right? Ladies, no one view. Balance. Let's get about the sun one view now. Don't use about the sun one view now. That's a sun one view. The best one of my shot. No one view. Now we'll bring police, right? Now we'll bring police. But it's not slow. But I know you've been so long English, like something for a year. What good? You don't look so?
Really good? If I tell you what, man, I embarrass you. I don't mind to go back home here.
What are you saying?
Yeah.
So you don't think it'll happen? But we don't get any money.
Your mother give me no money to come to go back home.
Yeah.
And my father ain't paid the court.
So stuff, I don't know why you thought you here every day.
I think he said.
Woman,
I wanted to get a job, but he tell my mother I don't want to go, I don't go listen.
But he ran with it. So you get money.
I know that I desperate, I had to get some money.
watch man. You see that fella riding? You see that fella riding?
Yeah.
He ran slow. He ran slow. You have a real nice walk too. You have a S24. You know what I want? You have a S24. Watch man. You want some money?
Yes.
And then you nobody go worry yourself, bro. Seriously. If you keep that code from that fella, I go and sell it for you. I'll give you half, and I go get half. How that's up?
So I just get it for you and you selling it.
I sell it for you, and I give you half, and I take it half.
I doing that.
But you want to take it, huh?
I doing that.
And it's good.
I doing that.
So when you back to Hold on, so that's all I can plan? What, the other bit? Hold on, that's all I can plan?
So that was financial abuse. Let me tell you something. Not every day somebody like my brother, eh? Yeah. But sometimes as children, there's no way parents can do better. That is financial abuse. Go teach them. Or they just go buy Miss Billy and tell I have no money to go home. Go buy your coordinator and talk for them. Don't teach nobody phone. Don't teach nobody phone. Everybody does have a car at some point in their life. But don't teach nobody phone. Because I will call for the police. There we go. Every day something. My mother always telling me, all kids, I felt she tell me I'm stupid and worthless and good for nothing. You know what she told me the other day? Oh, she was with another abortion and it didn't work out. That is how come I need. I tell you what you gonna tell me, boy? And when I tell my father says that you like me. She doesn't make me feel like lying and say my making I'm sorry. Serious? I tell you, my mother, I don't know. She tell my whole family against me. She tell all of them and they said it's one of me, she was really quiet, it's real land. You're like real fed up there, you see me, I real fed up, why? I go to a building, yes?
Hey, no one that no building, girl. That is not the way. What you're saying, girl? Have you got my lip on, Slam? Have you got let me go, boy? Let me go. There's always a way, girl. Go drop a full building. Some man are going to be one day. A man is not me, but some man are going to be one day. One day I think we're too. Man, when she get them kids, you will see what going on. But I ain't feel like we're too nice. I don't what down. Let me go where you want to say. Let me go where you want to say. There you go. Hold up until here. Let me go.
Right, let's see everything you have move. Now, what do you mean? Alright, so the last one was. Who can tell me what the last one was? Child abuse. Global abuse. Who said something here? Right. So plenty of the times you might hear you're stupid. You're so stupid, what is that? You're so ugly, you're something nobody in the front of you. Sometimes you're right in your mouth, the people you love and you care for will come at you and tell you things that will hurt you. It will tear you. It will make you feel unwanted. But guess what? What's the recommendation you make? What's the recommendation you make? Go by the counselor. Before you meet the counselor, who else meet the instructor? Have coordinators, it have people, it have staff. It have staff that will be willing to assist you. Talk to somebody. These are the things, and I heard coalition against
domestic violence, mention it. Sometimes people feel a strong sense of depression when people tell us these kind of things. You feel like you're less than everybody. When you tell somebody that you really beautiful or you really handsome, they say no. Take a look in the mirror. You are beautiful. You are unique. It only has one of you. If you have a twin, it's only one of you will have. You are special. You are individual. You are part of this world, and without you in the world, we'll be missing something. So as individuals, you are created by God. And God will never make a mistake. So you are not a mistake. A lot of these violence, sometimes people just be hit every day of their life. They feel the elbow every day. Some people here may not even get food. They're not sure what they're getting when they go home. So come to school tomorrow. Tomorrow school?
No.
Just check it. So come to school Monday. The other one won't see then. Some people have to work. Some people more fortunate than others. If you don't work, you don't come to school. So as long as you are under 18, you're a child. Everybody else is that? Yeah. You're a child. And there are some abuse that is seen with your children, and they openly wanted child abuse. Child labor. I mean, there are some families that really can't do better. They have families that could help, and they don't. I want to tell you today, right? They say try counseling. So today we have 3 counselors in the South Central Zone. Let me introduce us. So we have Miss Sally. She'll never wait, so she give right to. Give her back a right to. Come on, where's Miss Sandy? And our new addition to our counseling team is Mrs. Noel. And with their assistance today, we were able to put on this program. So, I want somebody to tell me, I have 2 items in the box. I want to go in the box with nothing in it. So the first clip, the first video clip, they had what it was. What? What kind of this was? Let's go now. Let's set to yes, inside the house. Very good. So you have to combine lots and bricks up. Alright. Let me see in the classroom. Let me see cyberbullying coming out. How do you feel about that? Listen to me, everybody on the phone, keep making video. Every day, people in the patient. And then when your friend fix it, whatever you do, put you up. Cyberbullying. Do you know there's another legal aspect of the law that talks about cyberbullying and the police will check? Listen, Shoguna's pussy. Shoguna's pussy. When you're watching somebody, when I see when you're having a session going on here. Alright. We like to vex with people and put them up. And you put it any kind of picture up. Cyberbullying is against the law. So we need not do that. But you don't want nobody to do that. Eh? That's why when you're here, you're sending one shot. You don't do that. Because they will put you up. Set you up. And it's going against a permanent record. When you come, they get fired. What the person when they Google you to see who you are about you. When they see you in a particular position, they're not going to hire you. So I want you all to be very conscious that abuse is real. Almost every single human being on earth went through some form of abuse. You are not alone. Ask for help. Ask for help.